IG and fellow colleagues, there are few issues that have claimed my attention that predicated my communication.
Realtv will come to you live from the House of Representatives. We'll bring you live coverage of the appearance
the issue of
the
traffic
IG
violation.
Inspector General of the
The
Police
issue of traffic violation in our country
of the Liberia National
is a
Police
very serious issue.
where the former
Take for example, Mr.
at
Haji,
the chambers of the House of
when you are
Representatives. Please share our live
driving
video if
to
this
go Ghanarsville, from Freeport, there's a junction they call the Watusi Junction, going to Jamaica Road Junction. Mr. Haji, is a very serious issue. That area, that particular portion, has been used as a permanent parking station for trucks. The road is a 2-lane road, but the other lane has been used even before your ascendancy as RD. And so I wonder whether the police or the MCC are not seeing it. I remember, fellow colleagues, due to similar issue of people parking trucks on the road without reflector, without indicator to show that there is an object that is parking ahead of you. My colleague, Honorable Dobo, now going to the same 6 persons died for him on the Kakaka highway, where the car went further and continued and was parking on the highway. 6 persons died instantly. And the same thing continued to happen right in our presence here. Just continue to park on the road and they are using it permanently as a parking station. Even all along the road from here, green light. That's one major issue. The next issue is continual trucks. You see a continual truck is not sprayed, all filthy, one road wetted, no lights, the tires are all wapping, and then they are moving. They are claiming my attention, one of the police who don't see it. The next thing, Mr. ID, has to do with traffic lights at major intersections. For example, the Freeport intersection. Like I said, you will see police there every day directing traffic. Although they are doing their work, I don't think it should be that an officer will stay over there on his feet from morning to evening or to the night directing traffic. There should be traffic lights. Those major intersections direct traffic. The next thing Mr. ID has to do with the lack of highway patrol. And we find cars speeding most of the time from here to Kano. The lack of accident cases being reported from here to Kakata. All is due to the lack of highway patrol. And at the same time, overloading of vehicles. You see a taxi being used like a truck. Road that taxi is not supposed to take, they will take it. And you see the road falling. Sometimes they will even put 3 persons in the front seat. The driver is so jammed. All of these things continue to happen. I'm concerned. What is happening to the ticketing system that was in place before? That's one major source of revenue generation in the country. For some of us that are privileged to go to other countries, people use tickets to generate money. You violate, we're not supposed to go to jail, but we gave the ticket. So, Mr. Adi and fellow colleagues, not residing, these are some of the issues that came my attention for which I wrote this communication to plenary. I say thank you for attaching preference to my communication. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Mr. Archie. Please take the stand and respond to the communication. Honorable Deputy Speaker, members of the House, I want to once again thank you all for this opportunity to address some of these issues that have been flagged by the Honorable Gentleman. There is So it's just it's presiding, co-presiding members. Point no time. Presiding, co-presiding. Honorable presiding, co-presiding members of the House. There is something fundamentally wrong, and it's something that we all have to be concerned about. Unfortunately, in our country, the culture of safety it does not exist. And it's not just from one group of people, it's from all road users, from pedestrians, motorcyclists, tricyclists, vehicle operators onwards. It just doesn't exist. And there are reasons why this culture has not existed here. I always look at the issue of respect. Respect earned by fear can only be sustained as long as you have the ability to instill fear in people. When it comes to the issue of safety, the only way that people can adhere is if the police has the capacity to police them 24 hours, which of course, I will openly say here, and it's not a secret, that capacity just does not exist. The issue with the violation, the Watusi Junction, that's somewhere that we are aware of. There are truck parking along the road, and we have consistently issued tickets to those trucks. Unfortunately, the police does not have the capacity to tow those trucks from that junction. So the only thing we can do is to hurt their pockets by issuing them a ticket. And they have a time frame to pay for the ticket. So sometimes we issue the man the ticket, he knows how long he has to pay for the ticket. So he leaves the truck parking there. When it's almost time for it to expire, he goes and finally pays it. He pays the ticket. If we had the capacity to actually tow the trucks from there, we'll come there immediately and remove them. Unfortunately, we don't have that kind of truck to pull broken down vehicles or illegally parked vehicles on the road. The issue of road worthiness is of vital concern to us, and we have made series of attempts to address it. One, at some point in 2016-17, we had accredited a few local garages to do that for the police to make sure they did roadworthiness inspection. We went one step further, and we have proffered a public-private partnership because the government was not ready at the time to invest in the facility to be able to properly undertake that responsibility. That concession came to this noble body, and I believe it's sitting somewhere today, and it has not been fully executed. However, the facility to do that exists here in the country. There's a state-of-the-art facility, and we're even looking at this point in time engaging some garage owners to see the possibility of licensing them again so that they can start some inspection for us. The conversation is ongoing with the Ministry of Transport so as to come up with a proper design on what mechanism we will use so as to ensure them that these people have met the standards before our next round of registration. When it comes to the issue of traffic lights, I will advise this August body that we look at public work to join the conversation. We can advise on areas where the lights are needed, but it is their responsibility to put the lights there and also to program the lights as per the traffic flow. And this time around, we could even advance the conversation further that we have access to the flow and the change of the lights so as to determine the flow during rush and peak hours as to which way it goes faster, which way it goes slower, and to also see if we can upgrade it for access to emergency vehicles as well. The lack of highway patrol is just the lack of the same logistical concerns that we're talking about. Thanks to this body, we've just been informed that there's been an allotment in the budget to procure some vehicles. As soon as we are able to complete the procurement process, and we acquire those vehicles, the Highway Patrol will be retrained. Vetting is ongoing for Highway Patrol class and also for a new traffic class to change some of the faces and bring in some new officers with fresh ideas and enforcement authority to be able to beef up our enforcement on the roads. So hopefully within the next few months, when the Highway Patrol vehicles are available, you will see them there. The issue of overloading, I mean, is a serious concern to us. And I'll be honest with you. Over the years, there's been lack of in-service training. Some of the officers have just chosen not to do what they were trained to do. Maybe they've forgotten. But in the normal order of things, these people are to be occasionally refreshed. And it's been a very long time since most of them has had an opportunity to have these courses. So they've basically forgotten some of the things that they should do on the road. Because in my mind, and I personally say it to my team whenever we meet, it doesn't make sense that a vehicle would pass overloaded by 5 police checkpoints and get to town and the driver doesn't have access to his rear view mirror. So we've given an instruction that every time you come across a vehicle that's overloaded, pull it over right there, issue a ticket, put the load down, let them take the appropriate size and continue their journey. That has started, and then we will continue to enforce it. But for now, our ability to enforce is very limited, so that's why we've come up with a strict enforcement zone where we can enforce fully within that zone, and then as we build capacity, we continue to expand it. The issue of these violations, I mean, it should be our responsibility, and I'm happy that you were able to recognize this, sir, and call us here so that we can talk about it. But I would like to use this time to also call on this body to join us in this support, this call for safety. And safety, the safety we're talking about, it transcends just the issue of the road, but the general public safety, the safety of our children. On the 31st of May, a school decided to have a gala day without following the proper procedures for accessing the road. Took a group of babies, put them on the highway to a parade on the highway without any notice to police. And unfortunately, there was a tragic accident, and a truck ran into them, killing three of them, 7, 13, 15-year-old children, and wounding over 7 of them. It's not just about the road. It's just this lack of a general culture of safety. And that's why we call upon the Ministry of Education that we would like to sit with them and see what the school safety protocol is. If there's none for us to sit down together and develop it. Because when we pay for our children to go to school, we're not just paying for their education. We come to work, we entrust them to the school, to a safe place. That's why our minds are relaxed and we are productive when we come to work. But where we are today, you can pay the highest amount and still you're not assured of the safety of your children. So it is indeed quite honorable that I'm here today, and I ask each and every one of us to support this call. As we are able to receive our allotment, there will be some series of educational programs. There will be engagement in community. There will be training at the academy, just to bring people up to speed with all of the requirements for safety. Driving is a privilege, it's not a right. And in order to have that privilege, the law calls for things that you must conform to. So we are going to enforce first within this, our strict enforcement zone, and as we build our capacity, we're going to extend it to the rest of the country. Our concern is to improve safety. And then before I close, since we're on the issue of safety, I would also like to add that while it is true that police is the graphic representation of the state's authority, that all of these things are directed toward us, safety is not just based on what we do. Safety has other components that must be supported as well. Proper hospitals, lights in some of these areas. It will even help to create that safe environment where we can police and crime will be greatly reduced. So, sirs, I ask you all to join your voices to this call for safety, and let's begin to promote a culture of safety in our country. The ticketing issue, I think over the last 3 months, the police have issued the most tickets, the most amount of tickets that we've ever done, simply in memorable times. We have made it our duty just to herd packets, to remind people that you have to conform to the law. And the exercises that we started in this strict enforcement zone is not meant to disenfranchise any group of people. I acknowledge the contribution of the motorcyclists. I am a beneficiary of it in so many regards. The reason why it started with them is because they are the most vulnerable. And the thing is, we all assume that they should know the law. But the truth is, we live in a country that this law that excuses government, so many ways know how to find it. And when they can even find it, they can't even read it. So it's incumbent upon us to start to educate them, to provide more training, and be able to teach them so as to get to a point where we do not have to police them, but that it becomes a way of life. That people will adhere to safety because it is the right thing to do. Because it is the safe thing to do. You are entrusted with people. And on our own, we're beginning some conversations, especially around how we authorize people to use the road. I cannot walk to the medical and dental council and just pay $250 and ask for a license and give it to me to go in a hospital to practice. I have to prove that I am a doctor from a reputable institution that has ensured that I meet the qualifications to practice. In our case, sometimes, the testing component, we've been relaxed on it. And that's why the Minister of Transport and I, we've had a series of conversations, and there are measures being put in place to ensure that we restore the testing, to ensure that these people who are giving the authorization to use the road are prepared and understand the rules of the road. Honorable Presiding, Co-Presiding, Honorable Body, I rest.
Thank you, Mr. Archie. We're equal to 5 of our colleagues to make that intervention. We'll start with Honorable Alfred Flomo of Formula of the DC College. Thomas of Williams. And will compare those.
Deputy Speaker, Co-Presiding, distinguished colleagues, I have 2 concerns, Archie, and I want to say welcome. The first concern I have to do is about a motor accident on the Buchanan Road, where my little brother was involved. 7 persons died in the accident. He was the driver of the taxi. And up to now, since almost 2 or 3 months, the investigation is still ongoing. We are not getting any results from the police. Thank God you brought the traffic. I want to hear how far our investigation has gone. The second thing, I think I met you the last time when I went in the office. Our people are concerned, especially from my district. We have some officers that have been in our district for the past 15 to 18 years. Except in the district. And you know, as a security officer, stay in one place for 15, 18 years. Some of the people are planning, some of your officers are planning robbery, they're tapping it right now. So I think, RG, you need to do something because my citizens have written me that we need to change those police and send new faces so to put some corrective measures into place. Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, co-presiding fellow colleagues, let me take this time to extend my thanks and appreciation to the RG, and I want to join my brother on the issue about vehicle being parked along the road. If you take a walk right around Johnson Street, where somewhere around Johnson and McDonald Street area, you may see the cars, keke, there's no way for you to park. Mr. Chief of Traffic, we want to encourage you to also, must stop. The police will to move in there and ask the guy to move the keke from the street. It's even not serious stuff. My last question I want to ask is, there is a proliferation of checkpoints across the country. When I went to the People Surrogate District, I encountered more than 15 or 20 checkpoints, nearly at night. Why is it? When I'm using the back road from Silo to come again, the checkpoints are more. And then when you get at the checkpoint, you don't know whether the police officer, the fire service, the DEA, everybody. You will blow the car on, they will see REP, they will see the security light, they are busy doing different things. So what is the plan? There's a proliferation of checkpoints across the country. Thank you very much. I remember on national security and defense as well.
Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, the RG. I am not from the southeast, east. But I have received concerns from drivers in the southeast. To be specific, the Pingo River Bridge. That bridge is like a hub for exploitation. The police have succeeded in erecting a structure in the name of police section, and they are then extracting money from the drivers. Number one, before you even cross the bridge, they will charge the driver 10 to 15,000 per hour. I am a victim of the situation. I even called 102 at one point in time to intervene. I called 102 at one point in time to intervene with regards to the money that the officers were demanding from the truck drivers. I got a listing of them with their signatures and contact number that I intend to bring to your office. So please intervene. I'm not from the southeast, but it has to do with the country. It could be any of you that can own a truck on the road. Of more recent, they alert, in fact, there was information that you had a bridge program. So all cars will not pass. But at night, they receive $15,000 each from the drivers to allow them cross that bridge. In as much as we indicted you, we will also be flagging the issue of these trucks, these container trucks that fly the streets. 90% of them has no traffic lights. The guy blink off to know that the indicator of the light is on them. The brake lights. Most of the cars are lacking those things. Alright? So it is creating problems. But I will be very grateful. Instead of us wrecking you again to come back to tell us why you cannot remove the checkpoint at that bridge, will you please address and even invite the police officer or ask your colleagues, the deputy police commander in 102 has to get involved to add that mentor that I thought to put on there. It's a serious issue. And I don't want to even put that on the floor. If that thing again, why are they embarrassing and put that? So thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, co-presiding distinguished colleagues. The issue of our security matters most to everyone. And as such, when it is about our security, it requires all of us paying keen attention to how this country's security issue can be addressed. I had information, and that information previously was about the situation of King George. The situation of King George, we investigated the situation in King George, and at the end of the day, we went on the scene and established that there were people who were killed in King George. They were killed, and all of the bodies we saw in King George, one, they had wounds on their back, meaning they were escaping when the police officer shot them. That's the first established fact, because they were not shot in their front. Two, none of the bodies that was in King George lying on the Palava Hall had any weapon beside them to establish as to whether or not these individuals had weapons. We have previously the IG to send us a copy of the report to vindicate those police officers that were involved in shooting. As of today, we now have a copy of that report. So we want for you to read that.
Thank you so much, our cabinet.
Police, please give the police chance.
Co-presiding, distinguished colleagues, and the IG. I would like to draw your attention to 7.3 of our the function of the Committee on Judiciary. It states clearly in I that the Liberia National Police, the Judiciary Committee has an oversight of this committee. So I will speak in that capacity as the chair of the Committee on Judiciary. Now, few things I want to raise. It's unfortunate.
You have to speak your formula, please.
It's unfortunate.
Our formula, please.
It's unfortunate, Mr. Cabinet Speaker, that in this time and age, we will still be allotting or appropriating money to the Liberia National Police for the procurement of vehicles, when the Liberia National Police has been heavily supported in terms of procurement of vehicles. We have an issue at the Liberia National Police that has to do with maintenance of vehicles. The IGN will speak to that clearly. And I'm sitting here and want to sign a mandate that before those vehicles can be procured, the IGN needs to produce a maintenance roadmap or schedule as to how these vehicles will be maintained. Because there is a history in this country that the Liberia National Police is one institution that does not manage vehicles. You will see new vehicles flying in the street in less than 2-3 months. You see them parked. The records are there. And secondly, I want to also advise the procurement package, you should please include the procurement of ambulances for the police, because there are situations where there are emergency and the police will be there to arrest the situation, but the police will be calling, medical institutions around for ambulance, whereas they should be equipped with emergency response ambulances back up their activities. Thank you so much.
We'll take the last batch and allow the RG to respond. Honorable Muka Kamara, Honorable Mama Mensa, Honorable Sukat, Honorable Jawa, and Honorable Steve Kiwan.
Thank you.
Because when we respond, we follow way forward. Thank you.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, co-presiding distinguished police. So they ask you, I have a concern. I have a concern like the brother was speaking, Honorable man was talking about, in terms of maintenance. A few days ago, right in the Iron Factory Belt, there was accident that took place there.
Honorable Police, you will not be
One of the
recognized
police
to this
vehicles.
way.
But if we follow the accident that happened there, I don't know for why such an accident should take place. Because you going straight, you have the right to go, and you barely have to wait to give a chance or be allowed by the person who is in the right place moving. But that driver that was in that police vehicle got into a mini truck at the back and just messed it up. We have a history. We have a history. And I don't know what policy that is placed, put into how police vehicles are managed. Whether there is a law there that if the officers that are assigned to these vehicles should give report on how government property are used. Because all of the time, police vehicles by police officers in most of the cases are not managed well. And we see this is happening everywhere, and government resources being put in there. Like just what I was just talking about. I was like, well, what is happening? Government vehicles are not being managed by people who are to be managing them, and they are giving to them to do the right thing, and they are not doing it. So I just want to know whether there's any policy there placed that will be as deterrent for those who are giving government property, so that if it is wrong, they can be held liable for it. Thank you.
Thank you. In as much we will continue all of you to make your comment, colleagues. Please do not be repetitive. Manage time, please. All right. Honorable Member Mesa, Honorable Soma. Chala.
Thank you.
Chala was
President, let me say thank you to the IG for the decision taken with the motorcycle in I'm very, very excited about it. Because I know a few months ago, the implementing assistant, if he never had a helmet, today, he's gone. I have his arm is broken, he's going to hospital open the world. But all of the helmets are broken. If he never had it, that's how his score was going to be. When I drive down in Monrovia, I see a law-abiding cyclist. It's a process, not everyone of us will agree, but continue your work. It's important for our children, our generation to be safe. If our honorable colleagues have a problem with it, let's follow the step of Honorable Sumo. Honorable Sumo is going to campaign now, distributing helmets and life jackets and jackets for your cyclists. I didn't see your own. Okay, also Thomas. Let's follow them. But there is something we have to do to make sure this country change. And it's good we start. I heard about the accident and everything. I pray that you will come back here and show all your budget full of justice. That you will have a tool car. That accident car will not be parked in the middle of the road, another car run through it. I hope you have that budget, that at least you have patrol car for every major area, Bon County and Nima County. The other person I need to run too much there. That you will have it there, that our people will be safe. Continue your work, and give you full support. Let me borrow from President Walker. Let while the other people think about next election, the one keep motorcycle dying, we think about next generation. Go and do your work. You have our full support.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Professor, you
Honorable Priscilla Abraham Kopo in the Shofar, the play the Deputy Speaker of the room. He was
Thank
there
you.
for a length of time. I pray that you will keep you there for that long period. Thank you for the process.
Presiding, distinguished colleagues, let me take this time to join previous speaker to commend the IG for the good work. I mean, there is no doubt this is his second time as serving as IG and himself previously. He helped to lay and transform the police. Coming back at this time, we expect that he will build on the foundation or improvements he made in the past. I sat with a distinguished colleague on the side of road safety, but I will pick up another component of safety. The side of the safety that I want to speak to is the one relating to the officer that the IG sent out of Monrovia and in the Leeward County. A case in point is particularly in Realtv County, where you have the second largest correctional pilot facility. The armed police, ERU officers stationed there. I just came from there and visited all of their facilities. I mean, that area is very strategic. Not only that Realtv is have the largest border, but an area there is a lot of crises every now and then. The presence of ERU in Realtv County is very important, not only for our national security, but also for the county and the citizens as well. It is very unfortunate that the armed officers today that they do not have a single vehicle, which means that they cannot respond to even address a single vehicle just by the fact that they have the arsenal in terms of weapons, but they cannot move anywhere. The other piece is that they are living in a corridor, this rain season that is coming. They are living facilities lavish there despicably. I mean, when the rain is falling, the rain falls in the bedroom, and the facility they're living in is deplorable. I think it's actually under attention because it's a disincentive for the young men to live and go serve, and I think it's something that needs your urgent attention this time. Thank you.
My question is I see that you be school in Temple Eden, but again, I'm going to be speaking from so I'm going to put it there. The question is, can you please explain to us what are the procedures and method of evacuating a chapel? Because the chapel has Janet. As maybe aware, they don't know what was clean, and there was a situation that occurred when the Saturday something out of how with the last prior to that time, when the chaplain was there, it was easy for the crowd. That's one thing I want to do. Because based on your answer, they will inform you what I put you harder for you to the chaplain to be directed. The second thing is, what's the relationship between the police and the one? Because what you say, division number 3, you got 290 pounds in village and you got 11 police officers. And you're talking about 44,590 more. So the community watch forum, many of them meet there and trying to build a relationship where we can have it in some of the villages, but they will tell you that the police don't have their time. So now that you've been here, I will really be happy if I can get that information that will inform me to take in that region. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Honorable presiding, the police. I want to take this time to extend my thanks and appreciation to the IG. He's someone that I trust and know his ability. Today, I'm privileged to be on the committee of ways and means. The calling chairs of Steve Tikwa of River Sets. And you can see clearly, there's a spirit, man, he's challenged. We need to work on the next budget year. I would love it heavily that this institution be heavily supported. Reason is that you see there is security. Today, our regular code law will take the blame because they say, oh, police, they are regular, the way they use vehicles. But I'll be honest here. Military people, security people, the makeup of their own vehicle is different than commercial vehicles. And so we need to give them more funding to be able to buy proper security vehicles. Now you will have one coal mining company will kind of donate to security apparatus. The same vehicle they're using on the map. How can that vehicle serve, national security when it comes to pursuing criminals and what have you? So please, Honorable RG, in your security meeting, please also appeal to the president. When it comes to international support, when it comes to concessions that want to get gifts to the national security, they should please do it through you so you can give the specs. That will save the integrity of the police as well. And I'm pleased to announce to you, Honorable IG, during our Community Watch Forum, I have one person in my district who is now constructing offices for the Watch Forum because we see clearly the manpower, you talk about training, everything has to do with finance. While you are planning and also trying to recruit for training, I'm constructing already ahead of you and we need your support when it comes to Community Watch Forum. Thank you very much. Colleagues, we now invite to the RG to make clarity on some of those comments that were made. Thank you. All questions, comments, information, demand, the Honorable RG has the floor. Thank you. Information denied. Thank you. Already denied.
Honorable Presiding, Honorable Board Presiding, Honorable ladies and gentlemen. Reference the Buchanan accident, which was in 22-wheeler cement trailer and a sedan causing the death of 7 persons. We apologize for the delay in concluding that accident investigation, but it's in consideration for the lone survivor. What we have at this point in time is the trailer driver's word, and we're just waiting to be able to speak with that lone survivor. Our team has been in touch with them. I think it was 2 or 3 days ago that he was able to come through. So we're hoping that within the next few days we'll be able to have a detailed conversation with him to give us his account, because he's the only person in the opposite vehicle that's alive to give us some understanding as to what transpired during that fatal accident. So we understand the concerns of the families, the representatives involved, and we ask that you please and let's support. But it's just good to add his voice to it before we can finalize it. So within the next week or so, that should be fully concluded. The prolonged stay of officers in some of these areas. And I wish I could say anything different, but I concur with you all 100% that we have officers who have overstayed in some of these fire-to-reach places, even in areas that are within city limits. And it's due to several factors. The first thing, the support for rotation has never been provided. So while it is true that we may say to the officer, you are assigning River G, we expect you to just show up in River T and take up your assignment, but we don't give you that what is required to even accommodate you to relocate you to your new area of assignment. And most of these officers who are staying in these areas are the ones who are willing, without any consideration for that payment to take up the assignment. So we are concerned about it. I know that they have an issue that all the officers have become familiar, so they cannot perform their duty. But I think then again, beyond just the rotation, it boils down to training. Because if you look at our model of policing, we're following the American community policing model. And in that model, all of the cities have their own police drawn from within the community to police the community. And that's the historical fact about how police bodies were established. So even if you stay a long time in that area and you're constantly refreshed and reminded of your role as a law enforcement officer, the prolonged stay should not interfere with your exercise of duty. So we go back to support again. Support for one, a relocation of officers who are being rotated, and that of in-service training as well. The issue of the vehicles parked along the road, like I said earlier, we continue to ticket them. I think if you went to some of these areas that you were concerned about the parking, you will notice that it's reducing. And the thing is, because that culture of safety has not sunk in, and the responsibility on the part of those road users have not become a priority for them, they play cat and mouse with the police. When the police come around, they all run away. As soon as the police go on to other tasks, they come right back and sit there. And the truth of the matter is, we're not omnipotent, we're not omniscient. Neither do we even have the technology to support us. That is what we intend to do, which is to develop a smart city, that we will have cameras and stuff to inform us of some of these things. But we take the information about this very seriously. We will focus, we'll change our deployment strategy in those areas to see how we can better improve our performance around it. The Timor River Bridge issue. So about immediately when I took over, because when excuse me, please. Right before I was relieved of my post as Inspector General in 2018, we had run an exercise around the country because there was a serious concern from ECOWAS about the difficulties of moving from one part of Liberia to another. It wasn't just Liberia, but within the sub-region, all of the countries, with the issue of checkpoints. So we have been instructed to move from point to point, border to border, to ensure that some of those checkpoints were removed. I remember we took a trip from Bow Waterside straight to Harbour, and there were 86 checkpoints along the road. We decommissioned over 90% of those checkpoints. Over 90% of the checkpoints from the road. But as they just reactivated them. So immediately when I returned, I gave an instruction. I said, not because a police station is on the road means that a checkpoint must be there. So we gave a clear mandate that all of the police stations along the road that had checkpoints along the highway must be removed. And I've asked my deputy for operations to ensure that it is enforced. And if you hear